What's up guys, it's Talon here, and in today's video we have another viewer VOD review in store. Today we're going to be taking a look at Turkway's trio and how they performed in a trio cash cup. But before I get into this VOD review guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. Also, if you wish to support me in another way, use code Talon.fn in the Fortnite item shop, #ad. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. Alright guys, as you can see on the screen we have Turkway's POV. This is going to be a VOD review of 3 games from a trio cash cup. We're going to take a look at this victory royale, and then we're going to take a look at some decent kill but middling level placement and see what could have been improved there, and also what could have been improved in this game as well. We're going to take it off here in Retail Row with a off spawn fight, and I think everything in this off spawn fight looks really well. You're going to see one thing, kind of just look at the positioning. They are kind of just a little bit split. Alpha's all the way back, but he's going to take a car eventually, I believe. Yeah, Alpha's a decent ways back. But what this right here opens up the fight, gets a huge amount of damage early to start off. But notice how one Turkey or Turkway doesn't just rush in here quickly. Alpha's going to come over the car and then fades, and this is going to be a good. And notice now how this trio is split. And how they're not protecting. Now, missed shots here from Fade, but it's okay because Turkey's going to get a fry and get a lot of the damage off on that opponent. Now, Alpha's going to be with him. He's already, now we know a lot of damage is already. Now, one thing I know with knowing that opponent's to the left, I would block off my side if I was Fade. Good crack off shield right here. And then what you're going to see is Turkey's going to get a fry. Now, it's going to be a 1v1 situation. Some good spray through damage here. Now, what I would kind of prefer in this situation is maybe Alpha come over here with this opponent right here, because this is a little bit more important. You're going to knock on this side, and then let Turkey, who has the best loot, who has a scar, 1v1 the person he's already fried, but it kind of just goes the opposite way. Alpha goes to Turkey, but Fade doesn't get caught up. Just a minor mistake, I think. Now, 144 HP, a little bit of a health advantage. Hits for a 30, and now we got Tack. Good movement right there. Get a nice little Metro Classic, and we get the nice finish. And then Alpha and Turkey are going to get an easy cleanup on this opponent, who had no shield, who was caught off. And this is a good pinch right here. Turkey's kind of forcing this opponent out. Nice little cone. And then I believe actually Fade is going to just get the elimination after clutching up the 1v1. Just a good off-spawn start. Fade is going to really frag out here for the majority of this early portion. And then this fight is, I think, just kind of just... there's definitely some room for improvement with this fight, particularly in terms of, one, it takes a significant amount of time. And it's one thing, it is kind of like towards the dead side, at least it's like towards dirty, so it's not a lot of teams rotating in, so you can take this fight. But this fight drags on for a significant amount of time. I mean, you can see when the knocks occur, and I think it starts right here. So we're going to take a look at Fade's POV. Fade's POV, excuse me. Now we have great loot here. We have gold spaz, and we just have fantastic loot. So good king, 125. But look how long this fight kind of takes off. You notice how everyone's kind of condensed here? There's no AR pressure going on. Trio, there we go, a little bit of SMG pressure. Alpha is going to be the one that kind of provides this SMG pressure. The person with their gold spads need to be playing wall to wall, and someone needs to be sitting up with an angle creating pressure. And just Alpha's doing a decent job of creating pressure. It's a nice little crack as well. But it's taking just a little bit. Turkey is now solo fighting, and he's going to end up getting cracked and having Tack versus Pump. This is not good. And so he kind of solos up in the fight, and this fight kind of drags on and slows out. Alpha's cranking up as well. Now this is a good kind of pinch setup you see right here already. You see Fade's coming here from up top. But we have this together pressure, and we just have our shotguns out. Like, this is something we just need to be constantly pickaxing. Just, I think, makes this fight just drag on just a little bit. Just more use of the AR subs. And then I believe Fade's going to get... And this is, see, once you get that little AR pressure here from the front, he catches him off guard. Turkey's healing. Now with Chug Cannon Turkey needs to just be chilling and then wait. He gets it right here, the opponent nets out. It's a nice little 200 pump. Alpha is going to again take some solo trades. We still got to also worry about HP. It seems just like a lot of taking a lot of solo fights. Like there's not really a good amount of fight coordination. Good box right here. Good, just better reload management and good movement. Just need to capitalize on that opportunity that's also dragging the fight on. But Fade's going to come in here. He cuts him off and then gets a good bait. Finish it, gets the trio wipe. But also comms from Turkey, hey, I need Chug Cannon probably, with him being that low HP. Would have probably been better. And then just the more AR usage throughout. It's just too many shotgun box fight to box fight. If you watch any professional trio, it's usually just choke points, one pressuring, one playing on, trying to take wall and play aggressive. Lots and lots of air pressure. It's not a lot of this drawn-out box fight that you kind of see. And a lot of their shield is gone. Fortunately, they have Chug Cannon, so it's really not that big a deal. But let's take a look at their next fight, because I think their next fight is a little bit just kind of an improvement from this fight, in my opinion. If I remember correctly here, they're going to get into this engagement up here. Yep, and they're going to start it. So people boxed up here. Now this is kind of a sign. They're boxed up here on edge in like third. So it's like, oh, okay, these kids are probably not the best. They're on one level of brick. Good pre-fight damage here from Fade. And this is good positioning all around. Alpha uses pretty unique. I think Turkey may have just gotten a snipe. Yep, Turkey just gets a snipe and so it just adds more of the damage. And you just see Fade goes up. And then now this is more pressure right here, what I really like. We get the gas can. Fader going. We still don't have a significant amount of AR pressure. But this creates a lot of pressure in itself, so I don't mind that play. And then you're going to see here that Fade's going to get in here with AR pressure, especially on wood. It's just something that when you have this gold spaz, you got to just be confident fighting against opponents who aren't switching to hard mats and wood. Right here, just good recognition. Now, you've got to make sure that if you're fighting a good player, this angle is horrible. If you were all or nothing, gold spaz, sure, a lot of confidence like getting in. But if you have great pump and against someone that you have no information on, this is definitely a 50-50. But gold spaz almost makes it where hits a massive shot, gets an easy finish. Then we'll take a look at Alpha and Turkey's POV. The fire's cut off, so good recognition to drop down. Alpha finishes the opponent. And then look at the better AR pressure right here. They get a nice little checkpoint on the last one. And then he 200 pumps this one. Not much to say, that just a little bit more. I would just like to see more AR pressure, more pressure throughout. And less just like box fighting. But this was a better engagement and ended so much faster. Alright, I think we're going to get into endgame. I believe there's just going to be one tiny little pickup here. Actually, there's going to be a headshot snipe here and the opponents are going to go away. Now, having SMG, I have no idea why no AR was taken from Alpha here. Because it's going to hurt him in endgame and they're not going to maximize high ground. I'm going to get you right now. They get a nice little shot snipe right here. And they do this kind of interesting thing towards the end game. I'm just going to fast forward. So they create kind of like these split bases, which I kind of like. It gives them a lot of, if they pull half an ass, it gives them a lot. However, the one thing it is going to do, it's going to waste materials. Now, he's going to get a nice little deagle, one dink. And you're going to see that actually, I believe Turkey's the one that's, applying pressure with them. He gets a nice little 156 head dink. But you're going to see the power of the AR, but you're going to see that Alpha's going to miss a lot of opportunities on high ground because of just carrying that sub. Maybe drop that deagle for the AR. Honestly, I'd probably just drop the deagle in endgame because pressure is king in trios. And then let's kind of talk about what they do here. So we'll just fast forward a little bit. But you see how they kind of have like a three-headed monster. Turkey's up ahead here, Fade's up here, and it pulls most towards Fade. He gets sniped here. Now, what I think the problem with this is building across here. Because Fade is going to run out of mats. And he doesn't have a pad. So what ends up happening is he ends up running out of mats in Psycho 50 and he dies pretty early. So he marks where to go. And notice how Alpha's also, or Turkway's used a little bit of his materials as well. And so mats don't end up being an issue, but it does for Fade. And now Fade is going to have to use all of his mats to go across because they're not together. So you use a lot of wood. This is also incredibly risky if you got anyone looking up. Doing this in wood, I mean, you spray out the AR and you're dead here. But he luckily gets over. So now one is focusing again with deagle pressure. Like, that's only quick 75 and there's no AR. Do you know how many free beams if you just double beam? Like, this loadout is not good for endgame. And you see also they don't really like play like a protective height. They're single tarping pretty high up as well. Any team that's cognizant of that is just going to spray down. There's no reconnections here. There's no ultimate height. One is getting ahead. There's just no AR shots coming down all around. I mean, it's just very stagnant. I mean, they ended up with 11 kills. They only get 3 kills on high ground the entire time. Part of that is due to what I said with Fade just being low on materials and dropping whatever little materials he has left. But there's no AR pressure with a gold scar. And this deagle pressure is nice, sure, but it's only going to be a 75. Like, the DPS is what you want in endgame. So this loadout is definitely not optimal, and you're going to see a lot of missed opportunities here with the sub. Now we finally get some reconnection. We get a good favorable zone. Do you see how unoptimal this is? Like, there's just no... There's a little bit of pressure. Now we got some good pressure coming out here. Now also, I just don't understand this split right here as well. Like, you want to play on the same kind of level, because this just burns through your mats. Like, you already have one leading. There just needs to be more clear roles. There needs to be someone that's leading the tarp, someone that's focusing pressure with AR. And I don't mind Alpha tarping because he doesn't really have the loadout in this game, because he has Deagle sub to really apply tons of effective pressure. But this just wastes mats right here. Getting split right here, that's like kind of the kind of bad thing what they did early. It's not a bad strategy. I just feel like you have to make sure your endgame really optimized. Play a little bit more together. Now they get up. Now I believe Fade is just gonna just full send with 12 votes, and he just full sends, I believe. I just don't know when he does, but he does. They might tell him to go down and frag, but the reason why, you know, going down and frag, one, it's pretty early. 70, and now you're in a full tarp, nothing of yours is your own. You get cracked, you don't have mats, and then you fat finger. Alpha's gonna come down here. He's gonna end up getting the knock, but you don't get any of the mats, and you have your teammate knocked. And then like AUG is okay for endgame, but now this is a good job, like a better job of pressure. However, again, SMG is only good. It doesn't really shred like an AR can. In AR, you're gonna get that more damage. Now this is a better job of getting ahead. Imagine if that's a regular AR, that opponent's knocked. Turkey's gonna do a good job of jumping down on the opponents that are fried. But I like him getting out there. He didn't have any of those particular builds. But they've done a good job of mat conservation. But again, like I said, they have 12 kills. They've been on height. See, that gold spar not being used on these opponents are really good. Gets a good fortunate knock right here. Now he doesn't have mats. It's gonna take a 50-50, no mats. Just kind of, again, the same thing is dropping down as a solo. And like, when you're on high ground, staying up and just being able to get your kills with ARs. And like, AUG and SMG is just really not gonna do that. I said in the end game, I believe they only got 3 eliminations on high ground, which is just, you're not maximizing a huge opportunity for 6, 5, 8 eliminations. But we're gonna see a clutch here from Alpha. I just don't think this loadout is something that just needs to be carried in endgame. I don't mind it for early and mid game, but you need an AR here for constant pressure. Take a Scar or green AR even over this. There would have been some easier frags with higher damage, with bleed through damage. I believe he's going to get a nice little spray through and he gets the kills. So 14 elimination victory royale. You just see, I would like just to see overall end game more AR pressure, in mid game fights more AR pressure, less box fighting, and then just kind of better role establishment. I would prefer someone just to kind of lead. I want to play more split height, and just take smarter loadouts into endgame that are really maximize high ground if that's what you're going to play. The Deagle's chip damage, sure, 156, fantastic. That's, just a headshot, but at 75, it's endgame. 3 AR pressure is just going to be so much more effective than just Deagle and SMG pressure, which is, again, just not as good. But let's get in the next game, see what they did in those games. Alright guys, we are in game number 2. This is going to be, I believe, a 7th place with around 7 or 8 kills. Some really good stuff early and mid game, and then some mistakes later on. This is an off-spawn fight, and then Alpha's going to just get a free 2 picks right here. Gets that opponent who's knocked. This team's kind of scuffed. Here the opponent off the pepper who's trying to hide. And then he's got shield advantage. And he's got a knock as well. And they get a free 2 eliminations off spawn. This is really good for Surge. But then we're going to see a very good engagement in Steamy. The best engagement thus far that I've seen in this particular VOD review. And Alpha is going to be the catalyst for this in so many ways. One, it's good positioning all around is really the best portion. We're going to see here that this team kind of comes up and then he looks like that was an invisible vending machine. But then notice they're going to kind of bait this team that's in there with him, and Alpha's going to get a great job damage. So notice they kind of sit here and kind of play slow, and then we're going to see a lot more AR pressure, and then the fight's going to end up significantly faster. Notice how they kind of are just kind of camping out, a little bit scummy, whatever. You got to do what you got to do to win. Catches an opponent who doesn't even know they're there. Fantastic amount of pre-fight damage. Let's switch it over here. Now they've fried one, and then you see this AR pressure. And then what you're going to see here is a significant amount of SMG pressure, AR pressure, tight, close pressure, fries this opponent, but Alpha takes a fantastic pinch angle. Blocks off his back right here, and then he knows, oh look, free elimination right here. Then he's going to do a great job of tracking where this other opponent is. Gets a little bit of a crack damage. Fade's going to come in here. They're going to wombo combo him. And that's all brought about, one, by the AR pressure in the middle, and the great just damage off spawn with good positioning. They wombo combo this particular opponent. Now, maybe a shakedown could have been performed by Turkey here to make this last opponent not last as long, but maybe it looks like things were on fire. May not have been worth. Yeah, things were on fire, so probably not worth. Never mind about that. But then what's going to end up happening here is a good pinch. And remember, the opponent that was fried runs away. He's going to try and get a medkit off, but then they're just going to basically pinch him very, very well. Here, just track him. There's nothing too much to say. They hear him. And then what ends up happening is that they're just going to catch him in a building, finish him off. Good stuff, and this is a good thing. Now, turning a 1v1 into a 2v1, just making sure you don't just isolate, get knocked here, waste a bunch of shield. Fade is going to hear him right here. You hear him move. And then he's just going to basically, and then it's just AR pressure gets in. AR pressure gets a cone. Spraying through. There's no, more than likely he's not going to knock both, so don't be afraid to take 50-50s. And look at that. They get some more impacts. They're set for Surge. 5 eliminations. Now let's head into endgame, where things kind of get a little bit unraveled, if you will. There's a really good solo clutch that actually makes this better, but this could have been a whole lot worse. And like I said, they're set for Surge. So it looks like Fade is their tarper. Hopefully the replay will actually allow me to catch up. We don't get to really see what ends up happening here. They're getting pressured. good amount of mats. They're not in the best lair. They need to get out kind of in this wood protected box. They're kind of in a very congested area. Now they get also a favorable pool, and I'm not sure if they own a lot of this right here. It looks like they're kind of maybe recycling an old tarp here. Now the problem with that is Alpha's going to get picked off here. This opponent comes in off of Pepper. This is kind of the problem with recycling a tarp. You need to make sure this could have maybe been blocked off. Maybe more breakthrough and breaking off together. The lead guys chopping the builds that aren't theirs and then creating block off points, because that's what ends up happening. And then what ends up, Alpha is going to try and get revived by Turkway, and what's going to end up happening is, notice how open that is too. Now this is going to put them way behind zone. I don't think Alpha is going to even survive the congestion. It looks like. We actually don't get to see because of replay delay. Yep. Alpha, Turkey gets picked up by someone else. Alpha is dead as well, and it's all up. Honestly, may not even be worth it for the Reds because they didn't own a lot of those builds and there wasn't a lot of protection. Now we're going to see a fantastic solo clutch with a minor mistake that could have made it just a significant better, just a little bit better. He's going to get, I believe, 2 or 3 pickups here. Doing a great job on dead side. Good layer switching as well. Hard mats. Good on Surge. Now you can make a little bit something out of 300 mats, and he does a great job. He gets 2 picks here that cap his mats at 555. And just what I'm going to talk about is just kind of ruins his solo clutch, is just being a little bit greedy. So now he gets a nice little pick on this opponent. Gets another pick on that opponent, and then with these 2 impacts, he's going to cap his mats. I literally have 555. I love the layer switch. Get away from that other team. And even a little minor, he wasted his wood to go up the layer, and then when the layer that he wants to stay on, he goes on hard. Now this layer is good. Now kind of a little bit wasted mats. If you're going to go up a layer, then just drop back down on the same layer. But still fine, whatever, just whatever's better position. Now at 4-2-3. Now we get a unfortunately bad pull here, and we should know that we drop down, so we should be going up and out here, and then we get just into a bunch of congestion, and we take like a significant amount of health. We run into a team. Now dying with this amount of mats in endgame would be traffic. You're literally in night zone with CAC mats. You're thinking, okay, I can stretch this out pretty far, and look, if you would have gone earlier up, you would have had this available to you. And great job of finding dead side. Great layer. He gets away from, now this is where the mistake comes. We stop prioritizing. We don't need anything. We don't need a pick. We don't need to look for anything. We're 4-1-2 and 9th as a solo. We can definitely make this work. And we start looking for picks. It puts us behind. And then what ends up happening, because we play a little bit behind, we start, now look, we're looking for things we don't need to look for. We don't cover our back too, which is just a huge mistake. And obviously probably not intentional, but if we just prioritize getting in here and playing ahead, and just a wasted box right there and mats as well. Now it gets triple sprayed, which is unfortunately gets dropped into another box. But if we're not even looking for picks and we're just focusing getting ahead, more than likely we don't get focused, we don't get caught up behind, we don't get dropped, because we've already had that metal establishment. If we get shot down from the top, we can play back towards where more of the metal is built there. Just a little other thing, with that amount of mats and ninth, don't need to be looking for anything. You just need to clutch out placement. So looking maybe just a little bit costly, but good solo clutch overall in a pretty stacked lobby. Let's get in the next game and see some more things to improve on. Alright guys, we are in our third game. This is going to be a 6-kill, 7th place, and this is actually going to be a very stacked game. You're going to recognize a lot of these players. Andalix is in here, Bumboy is in here, so some big names, and this is a pretty good lobby, so a lot of surge management, and again, mid-game and early game look really good. This is a very good powered position to get surge, and they're going to get even better. The best thing that you can get, a headshot snipe, which is going to set you up for surge, especially if you're able to clean that up. And they end up doing that, but not as efficiently as they probably wanted to. So we'll just kind of take a look. And I don't know why there's like coral background noises throughout this entire section, but there just is. Now look, they're just trying to get tags. Now you see this opponent just over peeking with a sniper. Fantastic sniper right here. So one, a great amount of surge, and you're thinking more. You're thinking blood in the water. There was already a pad there. Now this is where... So they're doing a good job, but almost all three should be... Alpha's getting up. Now they're focusing that knock, but they're going to get him up. Just wasn't a significant amount of AR pressure. Now this is going to be a minor mistake here. You ever been in this situation too when you're in a trios game? You're trying to get... Now place a cone out here instead of placing... that's a good ramp. And notice this opponent... Now no, not building any walls. And basically he's 1v3ing. He just gets a little overzealous. Make sure you place a wall for an escape route. He gets pieced up, but he's going to end up doing it the best he can, which is kind of just getting that trade. He ends up getting a 50-50 trade. Fade is then going to also get a pickup on the person that they knocked. So this is still going to end up turning in their favor, but Alpha's going to get taken out. The opponent is going to end up running away. They're going to get their finishes. They're going to get Alpha back up. And then we're going to jump into an end game, which really there isn't a significant amount to talk about other than just maybe some mechanical mistakes that were truly costly, and a little bit more coordination I think would definitely help improve this trio's endgame. It looks very non-methodical. It looks very like rushed, panicky type deal. So we're just going to kind of take it from here. They do a good job of getting a couple picks here. They end up getting 4 picks in movings. Good. This is a good tenant right here. This is, I like this. Someone's on their lair. They just bully them off with AR pressure. I would like to see that throughout. More AR pressure throughout. They're going to recycle a pad or use a pad here. Good. They're kind of setting up, waiting as long as possible, and then they just go. Now this is one important facet of landing together. If you're going to land together, especially on someone, I believe, I don't know if it's Turkey or Alpha, just gets into a box with someone. I don't know if it was on accident or purpose. Nope, someone literally just lands on Turkey's box. But just when you land together, you get in a situation where this turns into a 2v. And then you see, I don't know if this other guy was there. I don't know if they're the same team, but just kind of the same thing. One, Turkey gets out, and it gets a nice little pickup right here. And that's very, very good for 6. So they're going to get the elimination, get the mats, get out together 4-2-3. And Turkey looks like has kind of extended a good, decent tarp as well. He's taking the extra mats. Doing a good job now. I believe he's going to even cut off. He does a great job of cutting off this team right here. He cuts them off. And then you're going to see something very good as well. They isolate. Now, this is very good coordination. This is also what I like to see more. Look, you have 2 people, one holding the wall, one taking the wall, 2 holding the wall to get it. They get it, and then it's a 3v1. Turkey gets pre-fired, but they end up getting the elimination as well. It's a very good. And now they've gotten a couple good picks. They got a good lair established. Now this is where things kind of just get a little bit wonky. So Alpha kind of takes over the lead. It doesn't have any mats. So that's just kind of like awareness on who has the mats, who's tarping and all this stuff. And that's what's like more. And then Turkey's in the back here taking a med kit and Storm. Which he gets off. They have this tarp here. It's fine. But Turkey, this is the problem here. Turkey has the most amount of mats. So he needs to drop those mats. And this is just like more just concise rules. It doesn't seem like they have just a genuine tarper, a genuine someone that kind of leads the way. It's just whoever, which can work. However, you got to be aware of your mat usage. There's only like 21 mats at the front. Turkey needs to immediately be going to the front. And notice, in Alpha's, this is actually going to scuff Alpha quite a bit. Because it's not going to allow him to get up. So they do a good job of hugging this. They drop down a good lair. Turkey's doing a good job. And look, they're actually going to get a pickup on Andalex right here. Now, this is the problem where having the no mats thing, it just really hurts. So it gets an elimination right here. So what ends up happening, Hen tries to drop them down and get that refresh. Basically, maybe getting an opportunity to just maybe scuffing them. But because he has no mats, what ends up happening is he ends up carrying him, throwing him forward. And all of those mats now that he's got, that's 600 mats that he could have used for the trio, are now essentially gone. Now they try to place a pad, and there's just a little bit rushed. And then now you get in the situation where there's two in a box, and both get cracked. So just a little bit rushed on the pad part, and realize from a lower level layer, like when you're close to the ground, like getting a pad off is going to be incredibly difficult. You have to make sure that you're at a really free side of zone. Maybe if you have, I don't know when they had that pad, if they had that pad earlier, maybe use that earlier. After they got that one elimination to establish a better front side position, but using that pad here just doesn't, it's going to be really I have trouble believing that with how low they are in terms of close to the ground, that they're going to have a clear shot. And then exactly what ends up happening is some trio just falls in, they miss some shots, and then things get scuffed. And then your guy that has the most mats is playing solo down here because he got dropped down. But I believe Fade actually gets to him. Turkey's going to end up dying to Storm here because they're trying to tank Storm. Turkey's going to end up dying to Storm. Alpha with the most mats. Do a good shot, and then he just, again, not placing cones right here. He gets dropped down beautifully, and your guy with the most mats again. Now, if they just done a better job of holding that floor when they've gotten that picks on Andalex to recycle that body in their tarp to get those 60 plus extra builds, and then that way Alpha could have gotten a back up as well just sooner. And then Turkey could have gone ahead and they popped a medkit, and they died with chug cannon and builds. It's just unfortunate. And then now look who has no mats. Fade has no mats. And just right there, that's just again awareness. Is like, if that's not your forward, place a cone. So just some minor mistakes. Some good coordination throughout. There's not anything that's just like glaringly obvious, but just a little bit more. You saw that Alpha's kind of the second time he got dropped down. He got dropped down with no mats by Hen. He got dropped down with no mats. Just a little bit more awareness there. And then the person, if they're needing to heal, needs to drop. If their healing needs to drop their mats to front side to get them established, so they have that long tarp, so they can heal. Was just another thing. They're gonna get a nice pickup here, free elimination. But what's gonna end up happening is he gets cut off here. He's gonna die to zone as well. Even the chug cannon isn't going to be able to save him at all because there's just so much congestion. And that's maybe why that pad, when they had gotten that pickup in, I believe, the end of 6, they could have probably used that pad if they didn't have it. I don't remember exactly when they had it. If they got it from that one particular elimination onto Andalex, which I don't believe it was. It's just that pad play also kind of scuffed everything. They kind of stopped all their momentum. And it's just unfortunate that someone dropped there, but just kind of be understanding of when you're on that lower level, that pad play is probably not going to work as well. Maybe if you're more on dead side, you could take a little bit of Storm where there isn't a significant amount of congestion, but when you're on that middle of that lower level layer, it's really going to be trouble. But that is going to do it for today's VOD review, guys. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.